Welcome, everybody. Welcome, fellow patriots. Welcome, fellow deplorables. Welcome, all you dregs of society, all you rock dwellers, all you sycophants, all you stinkos, all you hateful people who celebrate the president. Whatever they call you, you're always welcome here, and this is the Conservative Commandos radio show. I'm Rick Trader, coming to you from the studios of the Conservative Commandos Radio Network, and joining me as my co-host is the patriot from the battle-born state, the silver state of Nevada, and that is Sharron Engel. Sharron, welcome back to Conservative Commandos.
Thanks, Rick. It's great to be back. I'm always combing, as you know, combing through the news. First, I didn't want to talk about the impeachment. It just got to be, everybody was talking about that, and all the news was that. Now, all the news is coronavirus, but you can't get away from it. But I did find some kind of interesting articles that go alongside this coronavirus. For one, the Democrats have been pushing mail-in balloting. As you know, Pelosi wants to do all mail-in ballots for everybody, and she's been pushing that in a federal bill. And this mail-in balloting has caught a hold in Nevada. We have a June 9th primary coming up, and we've already received our mail-in ballots. Our Secretary of State said we're only going to mail them to active voters. Good choice. Even with that, you can't be sure that you're, all active voters on your registration rolls, if that's a real voter or not, but closer than the inactive voters. However, Clark County, which is Las Vegas, which is Democrat dominated there, their registrar said, oh no, because there was a lawsuit by the Democrats here in Nevada saying you have to mail it to inactive voters. He mailed them to inactive voters. And now they're laying in the street. It's really interesting. Ballots laying on the sidewalk outside an apartment complex in Las Vegas. They took a picture of them, and there's a pile there. And wow. It's interesting because we have 220,000 inactive voters. There's only 2.5 million in the whole state. People, that's the population.
That's
so 220.
That's about 10%.
Yeah. At least.
And not all those, how many
Not
people?
Everybody that lives here votes, Right.
I mean, not everyone
children
that lives there is eligible to vote.
That's right. That's right. And so when you talk about 220,000 inactive voters, ballots lying on the sidewalk for anybody to pick up. We don't have any voter IDs, so anybody can send those ballots back in marked, right? There's no way to really prove. Also, the Democrats have said, even though you have to sign the back of that ballot, we don't want you to have to verify that signature. So it's crazy.
Okay.
It's crazy here. Trump has criticized Nevada's plan to send absentee ballots to all registered voters in advance of their June 9th primary, calling it a great voter fraud scenario. The president also threatened the state's federal funding. He says state of Nevada thinks that they can send out illegal vote by mail ballots, creating a great voter fraud scenario for the state and the U.S. They can't. If they do, I think I can hold up funds to the state. Sorry, but you must not cheat in elections. The president
I would
tweeted.
love to see somebody go to court and invalidate Nevada's election. Okay.
Well, it may happen. It may happen because of the, just this kind of stuff. If you've got that much voting going on, and of course, if you can prove that those inactive votes voted.
Well, that would be a little hard to do. I don't know how you go about that, but you can sue anybody for anything anymore. All right. We live in a very litigious society, and I'm not necessarily one that's in favor of every little lawsuit, okay? But I am for the integrity of our elections. And I think something has to be done to stop voter fraud. I would love to see a group, but maybe the Election Integrity Project in California will go to court to invalidate the elections in California, Nevada, New Jersey, all these states that we have rampant voting fraud. We had a governor. His name was Brendan Byrne. He's dead now, but while he was alive, he made the comment that when he dies, he wants to be buried in Hudson County so he could continue to vote. Now, this was a Democrat governor who said that. All right, Brendan Byrne.
Well, we know that Lyndon Baines Johnson was notorious for counting the residents of cemeteries. So it's just, it is something that happens. We laugh about it, but there are ways. When we look at the voting history, it's a matter of public record. How many times do you vote? Do you still vote? That's how they determine if you're an active or an inactive voter. And that's really one of the chores that Election Integrity Project has taken on. And that is to look over those registration rolls, see if people who are dead are voting still. People who have moved out of the state are voting in both states. People who are illegal voters, not citizens, are voting. Check it out. People that are voting twice, and that happens a lot. There's just ways to do this, and they are not above a lawsuit. As you know, they hired Judicial Watch to come into California in 2018 to sue LA County for all the duplicate voting that was going on there, and they made them clean up their rolls. Now, they're not being very good about doing that, so they're taking them back to court and saying you must do this. They have now hired Landmark Legal to do more, and Election Integrity Project Arizona has also got a lawsuit going on for their mail-in balloting. So I think you're not beyond feasibility that people are upset about this voter fraud, and they're not going to take it anymore. And we have ways now to prove that it does go on and who's doing it. So beware. Ballot fraud is federal offense, and you can go to federal prison for it. Also wanted to talk about our neighbors over there in California a little bit. A California hospital.
Not very good neighbors, by the way. But, I mean,
well,
the governor is not a very good neighbor, but
no,
there's a lot of good people in California, but a lot of lunatics.
But we haven't given up on California. We have AUN TV network based in California precisely to stir up the population and say,
let's find out if they can handle the truth.
Right. Well, I know there are some who can. I mean, there are strong conservatives over there in California, and it's just a matter of helping them out, giving them a little encouragement and saying, keep doing what you're doing. This is an interesting story. A California hospital, Walnut Creek John Muir Medical Center, says that they have seen a year's worth of suicide attempts in the last 4 weeks. They are saying that this lockdown from coronavirus, this is the overflow from that lockdown. So Gavin Newsom, his policy of lockdown now is costing lives in other ways. And it was interesting because this hospital reported this, but they said they would continue to support the lockdown. That is just so inconsistent, so incongruent. I just went, how do you report a statistic like this and still support the lockdown? But they're crazy over there. Here's another thing they're doing, which is just marks it out. In a desperate answer to a dire problem, San Francisco is setting up sanctioned homeless encampments throughout the city, becoming the first in the region to embrace a dramatic policy shift that would have seemed far-fetched just a few months ago. After watching the number of tents within its borders increase by 71% during the coronavirus epidemic, San Francisco opened its first temporary city-organized encampment this month, fenced-off piece of asphalt with dozens of tents right outside City Hall, and now they're not only getting to have that, but they get showers, they get meals, whatever you need there.
Sharron,
I think we
any
need to
talk
go
of
camp
the
out in that city by the bay.
any talk of a Chinese virus epidemic running rampant through these homeless camps?
No.
I'm telling you, fresh air and sunshine, people. Don't lock yourself in. Go outside and get some fresh air and sunshine. Sharron, let's take a break. We got three great guests that's joining us here on Conservative Commandos, and it's what you're listening to and watching. We are the Conservative Commandos. I'm Rick Trader. She's Sharron Angle, coming to you from the studios of the Conservative Commandos Radio Network. Today's show, like all our shows, is being brought to you by the First Amendment, protected by the Second. We'll be right back.
Mom, thank God you're gonna be okay.
So relieved. But you both should know when my time comes, I have a final expense policy with Senior Care USA.
Is Senior Care USA the life insurance policy that helps loved ones pay for funeral expenses and other debts? Bill and I called to get more information.
Yes, and there's an immediate payout of up to $50,000.
If you're over 50, call Senior Care USA now to learn more about final expense insurance plans.
There's no medical exam, even if you have a pre-existing condition like I do. When I called, the quote was free, and there was no pressure.
I found out that policies start for as little as 35 cents a day. Rates will never increase and coverage won't decrease.
I'm gonna call today.
Ask about the free prescription discount card. Oh, I'm so glad you'll be taken care of.
Call 1-800-822-7419. That's 1-800-822-7419.
But is it? It's really just the beginning, right? Have you written a book and want it published but don't know where to start? You're not alone. Page publishing cuts through the confusion that most new authors face, like copyright protection, barcodes, printing, and digital uploading. We will get your book into bookstores now. We guide you through the publishing maze and help you distribute and sell your work in hard copy and ebook formats. That's right. We will digitize and place your book for sale on Amazon, Apple iBooks, and Google, offering it to millions. Don't waste another minute. Most publishers won't even look at new author submissions, but we're different. We review your book and provide you feedback in about a week. If we decide to publish your book, your work ends and ours begins. From copy editing and proofing to typesetting and book cover art, our team gets you into bookstores fast.
Call 1-877-461-5033.
Does your current bathroom need to be updated immediately? Introducing One Day Bath and Shower Remodeling, the complete and hassle-free way to get the new bathroom of your dreams in as little as 1 day, and for as little as $199 a month. Yes, the experts at One Day Bath and Shower Remodeling will come to you anywhere in the country and show you all the customized options. Now you can have a brand new bathroom in as little as 1 day. Large or small bathrooms, if you want a new bathtub or shower installed, we can do it in as little as 1 day. And if you call right now, you can save $750 off your remodel. We make it easy by offering you financing as low as $199 per month. So for as little as $199 a month, you can finally have the bathroom of your dreams. Call now to schedule your free in-home consultation.
And welcome back. Welcome back to the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharron Engel and yours truly, Rick Trader. You know, the hallmark of our show is terrific guests. And if you'd like to refer someone to us you think would be a great guest here, it's easy to do. Send an email to me at auntv@yahoo.com. Remember, I used to have the long one, Rick at conservativecommandosradioshow.com. Well, I still have that, but I'm making it easier for you guys. auntv@yahoo.com. Send me your guest recommendations. Maybe you yourself would like to be a guest here on Conservative Commandos. Sharron, speaking of our guests, 3 great ones once again today.
Yes, we do. Our first guest is a longtime friend of the show, Art Harman, who is the director of the Coalition to Save Manned Space Exploration. Art was a legislative director and foreign policy advisor for Representative Stockman, and is a veteran policy analyst and grassroots political expert. His expertise includes foreign relations, border security and amnesty, national security, transportation, foreign broadcasting, and NASA space policy. And that's what we've invited Art to come on and talk about, is the manned space program and the soon launching of our men in space, not by Russians, but by actual American spaceships this time. Our second guest is Elizabeth Baumann. Beth Baumann is the associate editor at Town Hall, where she covers breaking news and Second Amendment issues. Prior to joining Town Hall's editorial team, she served as a social media writer, where she ran the media group's evening and weekend social media accounts. Previously, Beth was a weekend editor at The Blaze and a former outreach specialist for Tedder Industries, a concealed carry holster manufacturer. She's written 2 articles. China puts the WHO on a pedestal and takes shots at the U.S. And the other article, Democrats are using the coronavirus body bags to fundraise. Shocking.
No, it isn't. They'll stoop to anything, Sharron. You know that.
Yes, I guess. Finally, Charlotte Hayes of the Independent Women's Forum. She's the director of cultural programs over there. Charlotte has appeared on programs such as Politically Incorrect, C-SPAN's Washington Journal, and PBS's To the Contrary, a former correspondent for the National Catholic Register and a feature writer at the Washington Times. Her work has appeared in the Wall Street Journal, the New York Magazine, and the Washington Post and the Weekly Standard. And she's written an article, Gavin Newsom threatens to lay off cops and firefighters if Washington doesn't bail out his big spending state. I wonder now if he's going to ask us to pay for these safe sleeping sites. That's what these tent city is called for.
And it's not coming out of his pocket.
Well, they have all these amenities. They have hand washing stations, portable toilets, showers, meals, and security guards.
Why go home?
Why go home? And I think we all need a vacation at the city on the bay. Just take your tent.
I've heard in the past that San Francisco is nice.
Yeah.
No need for a hotel. You just go to this homeless encampment. I bet they have big screen TVs and internet access and everything else, Sharron. I wouldn't be surprised, would you?
No, I wouldn't. Well, they didn't mention that. I guess if they're going to ask Congress to fund their bloated budget,
Sharron, I'll tell you who's
shouldn't go too far with cell phones and internet.
Remember the terrorist camps at Gitmo? At soccer fields, big screen TV, internet access. I think the same designers of those are setting up these homeless encampments in San Francisco. So I wouldn't be surprised. Big screen TVs, internet access, video recorders, all the amenities of home.
Right. That's right.
Well, Sharon, I know we talk a lot about Gavin Newsom, Los Angeles, San Francisco, but you got some news about the Chicago mayor.
Well, yes, this Chicago mayor is a dilly. This is that wonderful person. She's her last name is Lightfoot, Lori Lightfoot, the mayor of Chicago, has now sent a squad of armed officers this Sunday to a church to close the church down. What's really fun is that the church is in a kind of a risky spot in the city. She has failed to make it all safe. So they lock their doors even when they're having services, and they post a guard that looks out to see who wants to come in because they've had some troubles with their neighborhood. And so when they saw all these policemen turn up to shut them down, they wouldn't answer the door. They just said, "Go away, we're having church, come back later."
This is a sanctuary church in a sanctuary city, and we're staying.
And we're staying, and we're not opening our doors for you. I bet you that was quite a shock when they found that the doors were locked and they couldn't gain entrance to disturb the proceedings. That's an interesting catch to, I'm sure she was wanting to make a scene there. They had the news out there. They said they had people standing by with their cameras waiting for the scene that was going to erupt. And lo and behold, no scene because you can't get in.
Doors were locked.
Yeah,
well,
the doors are locked.
Sharon, do you remember about a year ago, the Conservative Commandos radio show was banned on Facebook?
Yes.
And a lot of conservatives have been banned on Facebook. Well, guess what? The Facebook has shut down a liberal. Michael Moore.
Really?
YouTube, well, not Facebook. I said Facebook, I meant YouTube. But YouTube has pulled a movie by Michael Moore, Planet of the Humans, because the left cannot tolerate one of their own exposing the extremists of the environmental movement. The film, which debunks the current climate change hysteria, has driven a wedge in the left and has garnered surprising support from conservatives across the nation. Michael Moore got his movie pulled on YouTube. Why? Finally, he's telling the truth about climate change.
Wow. If you don't march in lockstep with the party line, you're out, right? You're out. Even if you were one of their best friends, you're still out.
YouTube's pulling of Michael Moore's popular Planet of the Humans is a modern day equivalent of widespread burning of politically unpopular books by Darren D.H. Lawrence, albums by the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. It is a clear attempt to suppress speech, such as in Darwin's case. It's likely to be successful. The truth exposed in Moore's film, namely that green energy is promoted by profiteers and damaging to the environment, will reach America despite YouTube's efforts to suppress it.
Well, so the problem with Facebook, Google, maybe it's not a problem. Right. They are private companies. But they have very little competition. And that's the problem when there is no competition and you have a monopoly, and they don't have to observe constitutional rights because they're a private company. So we ask to go on their stuff and they say, no way, we're going to decide what the agenda is here. So just, be warned, private company, private lefty company. And if you are espousing anything close to truth or conservatism or the real world, even talking about the coronavirus, It's amazing to me. One of our guests frequently and a good friend of the show, Joe Messina, who we run his show on the AUN TV network, he was banned from Vimeo. Vimeo is a YouTube competitor, and you pay to be on Vimeo, but they banned him for asking a simple question, which is, if a vaccine were developed for coronavirus, would you get the vaccine? Yes or no? Just a question.
No,
take it.
I'll tell you why. Because Sharron, about 12 years ago, I got a flu shot. And a week or two after getting that flu shot, I could not raise my arm above my shoulder. It was that way for 2 years, and I still feel the effects of it. And it was because of a flu shot, something called Parsonage Turner. Look it up, Google it, Parsonage Turner. And I still have not regained all the use of my arm, or I should say the strength in my arm. Well, Sharron, we got to take a break and get our first guest on. And you are listening to and watching the Conservative Commandos radio show. That lady is Sharron Engel. I'm Rick Trader, and we're coming to you from the studios of the Conservative Commandos radio network. Our good friend Art Harman is going to be joining us. He's the director of the Coalition to Save Manned Space Exploration. And he's going to be talking about American astronauts who return to space on American SpaceX rockets, right after this break.
Attention homeowners. Do you have a house that's in need of serious repairs? Do you have tenants that never seem to make their monthly payments? How about code violations, past due taxes, or maintenance costs you just can't afford? Then call my friends right now at Quick Cash Offer. They specialize in buying any home, no matter how ugly the situation. Turn that problem property into cash right now. It's just that simple. One call and you can get rid of that home headache forever. They buy the ugliest houses with instant closings, instant cash, and huge savings. Plus, there are no realtor fees, no listing fees, and no repair costs. Just cash in your hands for that painful property. They're buying a few more houses in your neighborhood this month. So take advantage of this cash offer and call Quick Cash Offer now.
855-296-8854. 855-296-8854. That's 855-296-8854.
Listen carefully. If your student loan debt is overwhelming you and things seem hopeless, we've got great news.
If you're still struggling with your student loan debt, there are government programs available that may actually lower your payments by consolidating your federal student loans. Just call us. We'll review your situation and work with you to consolidate your debt. In many cases, depending on your situation, we can lower your monthly payments in half or more. It doesn't matter how much you owe or how far behind you are. Even if you're in default, call us right now to find out how we can lower your payment in half immediately. You can stop the harassing phone calls and the wage garnishments. All you need to do is pick up the phone and call us right now. We can remove your default status, consolidate your federal student loans, lower your payments, and we can do it today. Stop worrying. This is a real solution that can help. So please call us right now.
Call 800-917-8671.
Are you over the age of 50? Want peace of mind and financial security for your family? Here's an important message to you and all seniors from the Final Expense Insurance Hotline. The average funeral costs about $7,000, even more. And the most government benefits will pay your family is only $255. That leaves your loved ones with a burden of paying your debts and funeral costs. Our plans start as low as $1 per day and will pay up to $30,000 for your funeral and other final expenses. There's no medical exam and you'll have lifetime coverage. Plus, your rates will never increase and your plan cannot be canceled regardless of your medical condition, as long as you make your premium payments. Get free information right now. Just answer a few simple questions and get approved right over the phone in just a few minutes. Call right now.
Call 855-221-7334.
Do you have an idea for an invention, but you don't know what to do next?
How do you get in front of companies or get a patent?
Call InventHelp. They've been helping inventors just like you for 35 years.
And thousands of people contact them every month.
With 65 offices, you can meet with an InventHelp representative near you who will keep your idea confidential and explain their invention process step by step. InventHelp has helped over 10,000 inventors get patents. And they offer 3D animations and prototyping services to help demonstrate your idea. InventHelp's exclusive databank includes over 9,000 companies who have agreed to confidentially review new ideas, like yours.
Don't wonder what to do next. Take action right now and get the help you need from InventHelp.
InventHelp. Call today for free information.
800-880-2937. That's 800-880-2937 now.
And welcome back. Welcome back to the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharron Engel and yours truly, Rick Trader. And once again, as a reminder, for rebroadcast of our shows, check out our website, CCRShow.com. That's CCRShow.com. Our radio shows there, our TV shows there. Don't forget to like us, share us, and like us, friend us, and share us on Facebook and Twitter. And be sure to share our shows with a friend. And with that, Sharron, we do have our first guest of the day with us. He's a familiar face to us, a very good friend of ours. Sharron, the honor of the introduction's all yours.
It is an honor for me to introduce our good longtime friend and conservative commando, especially at CPAC. He really is a great addition to the team, and that's Art Harman, who's the director of the Coalition to Save Manned Space Exploration. Art was a legislative director and former policy advisor for Representative Stockman and is a veteran policy analyst and grassroots policy expert. His expertise includes foreign relations, border security, amnesty, national security, transportation, foreign broadcasting, and NASA space policy. Art Harman developed the strategy to kill the 2013 Senate Gang of Eight amnesty bill as violating the origination clause and provided policy advice to the Trump campaign transition and White House. Welcome back to the Conservative Commandos radio show, Art Harman.
Oh, thank you all both so much. It's always such a pleasure to be on with Rick, with you, Sharron, and of course with the entire audience. And anything I can do to bring a little insight to some of the issues I work with, I'm delighted to.
Well, we want to talk to you about space. You're the expert, and I guess we want to know, are we going into space again? Is this a reality, or are we 23 trillion in debt and sorry, no loose change for the space program? What's going on there?
Well, the big exciting thing, May 27th, launched SpaceX rocket from Kennedy Space Center with 2 astronauts on it, 2 veteran space shuttle astronauts who have been to space both at least twice before. And they're going to fly up to the space station and then spend about 2 months there before coming back. Now, this is huge news in a way. It's huge news because finally, after 9 years, we're going to be launching American astronauts in something that should have been an essential, American rockets. And so for the last 9 years, we've been relying entirely upon Russian Soyuz rockets. And there have been a few near misses where it was possible the space station could have been decrewed. And because if there was an accident with a Soyuz, there was no alternative. It's sort of like having one car and a 100-mile commute. you really want two cars if it's going to be that important to you. So we're now back on American rockets. That launch is, again, May 27th, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And President Trump and Vice President Pence are both going to be down at the Kennedy Space Center cheering on this exciting launch. And assuming that there's no delay, sometimes they have to delay things for technical reasons, sometimes for weather. But assuming we've got bright skies and everything's 100% go, we're going to have American astronauts back on the space station, launched by an American rocket from America, not from Kazakhstan and this is vital as we go more and more head to head with China in who's going to be ruling space, the free world and commercial space, or China according to China's rules.
Now, for the last few years, we've kind of treated space as a non-essential. And at least that's my opinion of what's happened, because people don't seem to understand what we do in space that makes it essential to some of the things that we do here on Earth. Just name a few of those things, like medicine, for instance, or technology. Just talk about what we do in space, why it isn't essential, rather than this, oh, well, if you want to go, it's like a vacation or something like that. Not essential.
You're so right. Now, there's several different categories, one of which is often not looked at by the Democrats as President Obama killed the return to the moon, and that is that we're not the only players. Russia's space program may have essentially imploded. They're not really capable of going to the moon or anything else, but China intends to rule space the same way they intend to rule the South China Sea, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and by 2049, under their own plans, the world, to basically be the superpower that dictates the way the world operates. And that would be a tyranny, global tyranny. And so by staking out a position in space on the moon, eventually to Mars, the moon is kind of the high ground. The Chinese actually have plans to put a monster military radar on the surface of the moon. There would be hundreds of miles long, the antenna, and it could map in 24 hours as the Earth orbits the entire surface of the Earth. So they would get a radar map of every military asset in the world. And that's scary. That's something that takes a long time with little satellites flying, doing little stripes of the Earth. So strategic, retaining access to space for the free world and commercial enterprise. That's number one. Number two is, you're right, a lot of discoveries. If my mom had an accident last year, broke her hip. What do? They put you on an MRI. How was that developed? Space program. And there's so many others. Right now, the astronauts are studying bone loss and muscle loss. Why? Because when you're up on space for like 6 months, you lose as much bone and muscle as do elderly people. Now, for younger astronauts, they'll build that back up with exercise when they return. But they're able to study quickly what happens and what can treat that. So eventually, we'll have much better treatments for people as they age. And so that brings it down to Earth, the discoveries that are happening up there. And there's so many more, technological leadership in the world. If we hadn't done Apollo, if we hadn't gone to the moon in the 60s, it's not impossible born Germany post-war could have been the technological powerhouse. You never know. But we became that, and we have to maintain our leadership, or China will take the technological leadership to a level that we can't fight back, that we're 100% dependent on them. Now, thank God for President Trump, because he's saying, particularly because of China's virus, that we need to regain our technology for medicines and everything else, bring these supply lines home. And that's how we can build up our country and get our economy back to work.
Well, it certainly has become very apparent that we're too dependent on China. And of course, to give them this final frontier, as Lost in Space guys, I'm that child of the Lost in Space group where, this is space was the final frontier. But to give them that, it seems like what we're doing is just going 2 steps forward, but 3 steps back. We're saying, yeah, we're too dependent, but we'll abandon space and let them make us become even more dependent upon them. Who really is going? I mean, when we talk about astronauts, are these guys flyers or are they scientists? Who goes to
Well, it's
space?
a mix. It's a mix. Well, up on the space station, you generally want experts in various scientific fields, whether it's biology, whether it's astrophysics and things like that. You need, now that we're returning to actually having American rockets that can fly American astronauts, you then need the right stuff again. We haven't really needed that because the Russians will be piloting the Soyuz. Some of our American astronauts are trained in that too, but mostly the right stuff. We've got 2 really, really skilled space shuttle pilots that are going to be on this flight on May 27th. And so they're the right stuff. If anything's going wrong, they'll know how to get out of it. They're not just, a mission specialist is what they call those who are technically skilled in a particular field for research in space. And by the way, people can go to Save Manned Space, SaveMannedSpace.com, and also Save Manned Space on Facebook and Twitter. And you'll follow a lot more of the activities that we're talking about here today with you all.
My last question. I've heard that Elon Musk is going to do something with this space flight. What is that, or do you know what the scoop is on that?
Well, I don't know, but I do know one thing, and that is there's a fascinating, fun little game, and that is that the last space shuttle that went up in 2011, they left a flag on the space shuttle, on the space station, and that flag had also flown on the very first space shuttle mission in 1981. And so that flag was left on the space station with instructions that it'll stay there until the next American crew launched from America comes up to claim the flag. So it's sort of a capture the flag type of thing. It's a fun little thing, but it's also, in a way, a little sad that it took 9 years to get these American rockets into service so that we can be flying from America, regardless of whatever relations may or may not happen with Russia. Our access to space is now absolutely protected and secured.
That's great. And we have to go to a break, Art Harman. We've been talking with our guest, Art Harman, about space and why it is crucial that America retains its toehold or its foothold or its grasp of space. We are coming to you from the Conservative Commandos Radio Network studios and around the world on the internet with TalkStream Live, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, NetTalk America, and AM/FM 24/7. Of course, now you can watch us on the AUN TV network in Northern California. I'm Sharron Angle here with my co-host, Rick Trader, and we'll be right back with our guest, Art Harman.
Are you a veteran and are you a homeowner? Then think Streamline and maybe save yourself a few $100s every month on your mortgage. A VA Streamline Refinance. It's called a rate reduction loan because mortgage interest reduction is exactly what it does. It's just for veterans and it lowers your mortgage rate so you can save on mortgage payments every month, every year. That's a lot of money saved. And it's so easy to qualify. You don't need pay stubs, a W-2, or bank statements. You don't need a home appraisal. It's fast and easy to apply. And mortgage interest rates are very low right now. So a VA Streamline Refinance makes it super easy and super affordable to take advantage of this opportunity and really cut your monthly mortgage payments. Veteran and homeowner? Call us to find out more. 888-893-7491. 888-893-7491.
Do you have an idea for an invention, but you don't know what to do next?
How do you get in front of companies or get a patent?
Call InventHelp. They've been helping inventors just like you for 35 years.
And thousands of people contact them every month.
With 65 offices, you can meet with an InventHelp representative near you who will keep your idea confidential and explain their invention process step by step. InventHelp has helped over 10,000 inventors get patents. And they offer 3D animations and prototyping services to help demonstrate your idea. InventHelp's exclusive databank includes over 9,000 companies who have agreed to confidentially review new ideas, like yours.
Don't wonder what to do next. Take action right now and get the help you need from InventHelp.
InventHelp. Call today for free information.
800-880-2937. That's 800-880-2937 now.
Is your credit card debt driving you batty?
We're going up! Just like your credit card fees and interest rates. To the top! With those sky-high payments! You can't forget about your debt. Always fear, the debt suckers are here!
Are your payments sucking the life out of you? Just one call to Consolidated Credit can get the debt suckers off your back. Consolidated Credit will lower your interest rates, consolidate your bills into one easy payment, and get you out of debt fast. Call Consolidated Credit and get your life back.
Call 1-800-201-8213. 1-800-201-8213. That's 1-800-201-8213. 1-800-201-8213.
When debt is the problem, Consolidated Credit is the solution.
Because debt sucks!
Attention Viagra and Cialis users. Are prescription drugstore prices too costly? Get 50 generic pills for only $99. That's right, 50 100 milligram generic Viagra for only $99. Our products have the same active ingredients as the brand name products. Money back guaranteed if you're 100% not satisfied. Get 50 generic pills for only $99. Order now and call the number on your screen. Have your credit card ready.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharron Engel and yours truly, Rick Trader. And once again, for a rebroadcast of our show or possibly to share it with a friend, check out our website, ccrshow.com. That's ccrshow.com. Our guest this segment is a very good friend of ours. He is actually one of the Conservative Commandos team, and that's Art Harman. One of Art's day job is he is the director of the Coalition to Save Manned Space Exploration. Art, welcome back to the Conservative Commandos radio show.
Oh, thanks so much, Rick. Thanks, Sharron, and everyone listening and watching on Conservative Commandos and AUN and everywhere else that the show is broadcast. It's always such a delight to be on with you all and to talk to your wonderful audience.
Well, Art, we're talking about American astronauts returning to space on the SpaceX rockets. And, you know, Art, you've known me for years now. You know my love of aviation, my love of space. But I'll tell you something, Art, I'm not very excited about this. And I'll tell you why in 2 words. Elon Musk. I'm very skeptical of this man who's made billions and billions and billions of dollars off the American taxpayer. And NASA awarded the SpaceX program and Elon Musk $3 billion, a $3 billion contract on this. I'm very skeptical of this, Art. I hope our astronauts are safe. How safe do you feel about Americans going up on the Falcon 9 rocket and this Elon Musk program? I don't feel very good about it, to be honest with you, my friend.
You know, if you'd asked me that a few years ago, I might have echoed some of that because SpaceX, particularly in the earlier days, had some failures for the Falcon. They also had some failures doing testing of their crew capsule. Now, what's happening is that this is not just SpaceX building something like, say, Ford Motor Company building a car and then selling it. The process involves NASA more than many people may think. And it was only last week when...
Then why give this guy $3 billion? Can't we build our own rockets?
Well, here's the thing. It's, you know, and it's not just SpaceX, but Boeing also had a contract. So we've got two independent, different carriers. So there's redundancy. So if the Boeing...
Are they working together or are they competitors? Because I'll be honest with you, when I go to the airport, if it ain't a Boeing, I ain't a going.
There you go. I've had some of my greatest adventures starting and ending on Boeings. Yeah, there's they're competitors. They're sort of competitors. I mean, they both got a contract. They both bid on it. It's important to have both because, yeah, if something does go wrong on either a Boeing or a Falcon, there's an alternative. But the NASA testing is something that I know some people criticized, saying, oh, NASA is, you know, being too hard on SpaceX and Boeing, and that's delaying it. But you know what? They want to make sure that our astronauts do have the level of safety that would have happened if it had been more of a NASA project. Now, the truth is, go back to Apollo. Apollo was built by, in part, Boeing, Lockheed Martin, Grumman, and all of these others. So the only difference really is who actually owns it in the end. And there's a good reason that it is a good thing that both Boeing and SpaceX actually own the equipment because they're going to be spurring a commercial renaissance in space that will be more like the stuff we've read about and dreamed about growing up with, private people going up into space, with companies sending up their own little space stations, and foreign countries like, say, Taiwan and others that can't afford their own space program. They'll be able to buy a seat and go up for a few weeks, just the same way that you could go and rent a car for 2 weeks. And so this is something China cannot do, is get the private enterprise involved.
Art brings up another question. We're kind of running low on time, and I wanted to, you and Sharron were talking about what China wants to do in space. Tell us about their program. Where are they at with their program? Are they putting people in space?
They have been working very determinedly to build the infrastructure and all of the equipment to go to the moon, to go to Mars, and so forth, and to do it in a way that will benefit their military aims of conquest. They just, about 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, they had a failure with their Long March 5 rocket, which is supposed to be their equivalent of a Falcon rocket or an Atlas to carry their astronauts to orbit and to launch their big, huge permanent space station. And so they had a setback of a couple of years. But earlier this year, they had a return to flight of the new improved Long March 5, and they've launched, I think, twice since. And later,
were there humans on those rockets?
No.
So they've not put anyone into space yet.
Oh, they have. They've had about, I don't know, 12 people in space so far. Mm-hmm. It's been spread out over a number of years, and many people.
Did they spread the China virus? I'm just joking when I said that. Are they going to spread the China virus to the moon and Mars when they go, Art Harman? Hey, Art Harman, we got to run, but it's always great to talk with you here on the Conservative Commandos radio show. I don't know, Art. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm very skeptical of this. I really am.
I think NASA has got the quality assurances they need, and they're very, very risk adverse there, maybe even too much so. But they're doing a good job, and they've cleared this flight for all the technical things. So let's.
I hope you're right. I hope they're right.
Yeah, let's wish them Godspeed, and again, you can find out more at at SaveMannedSpace.com, SaveMannedSpace.com, and of course on Facebook and Twitter too. I hope you all will check us out, subscribe, join, and follow.
All right, Art Harman, always great to see you, my friend. You take care and God bless.
You too.
You are listening to and watching the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharron Engel and yours truly, Rick Trader. On the other side, we're going to be speaking with Beth Baumann. She's an associate editor at townhall.com. We're going to be talking about a couple articles that she has written on Town Hall. One of them is China puts who on a pedestal and takes shots at the U.S. Don't go away. We'll be right back with our next guest.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 888-431-0562. That's 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562.
Dish TV is better than cable TV. Here's why. Dish has the nation's lowest TV price, along with an award-winning DVR that can skip commercials, record 8 shows at once, and get access to thousands of movies at your fingertips. Cable simply can't even compare. So the smart choice is to cut the cable and get Dish. Plus, you get all these great TV features, free HD DVR upgrade, free installation, and free movie channels. Say goodbye to cable and get more with Dish TV. 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. As an added bonus, you can switch to Dish now and receive a $50 Visa gift card. So call now and get Dish TV. Call 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. That's 877-290-7764. Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification required. Cancellation fee, monthly equipment fees, and other restrictions apply. Promotion can change at any time.
Friend, do you remember when it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank to expand a business, go on vacation, or buy a new car? Well, today, withdrawing your own cash has become a very risky business, according to The Secret War, a shocking new research report. I just read it. And folks, I was amazed to learn why banks are now required to spy on us for the government and then report any suspicious or unusual behavior. I suggest you get The Secret War free. Just call the number on the screen, no charge, from the folks at Swiss America. And get this, did you know simply spending cash today may be enough to have you branded as a potential criminal? That's right. The new war on cash is really a war against all freedom-loving Americans. The Secret War is yours free, so call the number on the screen and you can tell them Pat Boone gave you the number.
And welcome back. This is the Conservative Commandos radio show. My co-host today is Sharron Angle. I'm Rick Trader, and I want to give a shout out to folks who listen to us on radio stations in Jacksonville, Tampa, and the Villages, Florida, Las Vegas and Reno, Macon, Georgia, Boulder and Colorado Springs, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Long Beach, California, Arlington, Virginia, also seen on the AUN television network in San Francisco, Sacramento, San Jose, Silicon Valley, wine country, all the way up to Redding. And with that, Sharron, we do have our next guest with us, and she's a newbie. First time that she's here with us, and the honor of the introduction is all yours.
Well, it's always a pleasure to introduce someone new to our audience, get them to follow her like we do. And this is our special guest today, Beth Baumann, who is the associate editor at Town Hall, where she covers breaking news and Second Amendment issues. Prior to joining Town Hall's editorial team, she served as a social media writer, where she ran the media group's evening and weekend social media accounts. Previously, Beth was a weekend editor at The Blaze and a former outreach specialist for Tedder Industries, a concealed carry holster manufacturer, and she was also a contributor at Politichicks and The Blaze, where she provided political commentary and investigative journalism. Beth, welcome to Conservative Commandos radio show.
That was quite the mouthful.
Well, there was more. I thought, and there's still more. But I tell you, I'm intrigued by your titles. They're very catchy. You've written two articles that we want to discuss here today. China puts the WHO, World Health Organization, on a pedestal and takes shots at the U.S. And the other one, Democrats are using coronavirus body bags to fundraise. As I read this article about the body bags, that's literal, isn't it?
Yeah, it is literal. And I was really surprised at how few people covered this. Actually, I didn't see any coverage of it. But there are two political action committees who are actually encouraging people to donate money to their PACs in order to pay for these body bags that they're going to use down in Florida to hand out to people to say, basically, you're out and about, you're not on lockdown. Governor DeSantis opened up, so you're going to die. It is literal, actual body bags. It's pretty shocking in my mind.
Well, and they named their tour the Florida Grim Reaper Tour. I mean, this is really morbid, isn't it?
It really is. And it's sad that when we're going through something so unprecedented, and instead of coming together, there's this political line that's being drawn and really wanting anybody to die simply because they're going to the beach or because, they're expressing themselves out in the air is very morbid and really quite sad.
And I think that gets us to your other article about China putting WHO on a pedestal. It seems like China's not the only one. I know that Americans now are pretty much over this. The majority, I think, are saying, wait a second, there's so much conflicting and contradictory news and advice. And one state's doing it this way, another state does it this way, one country does it this way, another one does it this way. You can die if you don't go on a ventilator. You can die if you do. If you wear a mask, it's dangerous to your health, but you must wear a mask. I mean, it's so conflicting and contradictory that, well, we were driving through our neighborhood on Sunday, and there were dozens of cars parked on the street in one neighborhood and about 100 people in somebody's backyard. They're so over it They're not even social distancing or wearing masks. They're just saying, you know, whatever comes, bring it. How did we get to this place where we put an organization that now has been pretty much debunked, it looks like? Talk about that.
Well, I think my whole goal in this crisis is to hold China and the World Health Organization accountable. China lied, and this is where this term has come from. China lied and people died. China literally covered up what took place, and then they had the WHO go to cover for them. So they are literally in the World Health Organization's pocket. They have done different things like the Chinese president went and met with the WHO Director General and asked him personally, hey, we know you have this information about this virus spreading from person to person, but can you hold off on publishing that? You know, they really provided cover for them in all these different ways. When President Trump decided to halt flights from China, he was continually ridiculed, called racist, xenophobe, any kind of horrible term that could be used. And now we have health professionals like Dr. Fauci, who I think it's important to note that Dr. Fauci is a lefty. He's a Democrat, has said that decision has single-handedly really put not a halt, but really made our numbers a lot less than they were. But the World Health Organization knew these things and continually told the world that this virus doesn't transmit from human to human. And that's why we're having a lot of these conflicting stories, because we have China and the WHO in one corner deciding what they tell us. And I mean, we can't believe a word China says, especially when they tell us their death rate in Wuhan is like, I think the number was like 0.3%. You're telling me the epicenter of this pandemic has a 0.3% death rate, and ours was, I think, like, I don't know, 20% or 0.2%. I'd have to look at the numbers again since it's been a few weeks, but I mean, very contradictory information. So they have repeatedly high-fived each other in public, and that's what this was. The Director General basically said, you know, everybody's dogging on the WHO, but we have great confidence in them. And it was a direct hit at President Trump without having the courage to single him out and say, you know, you're going after the WHO and we disagree with it.
Now, this has been amazing to me that the World Health Organization is, as my mother used to say, don't bite the hand that feeds you. America, the United States, funds them at a tune of over half of their funding comes from the United States. China puts very little into their budget. How are they so, what are they thinking that they will insult the one who's actually paying the bills?
I think they've gotten away with doing these kind of things for so long because we haven't had a person in the White House who is afraid to fight back. You know, one of the things that people have always, and myself included, had issues with Trump when he was first running was he was unpolished. He didn't have the presidential feature, so to speak, or that diplomacy. And while a lot of us saw it as a liability, it's becoming a really big asset, especially in things like this. He's holding people accountable, and he's saying, you know, not only did you get my people sick, you covered it up, and we are your largest funder, and you're literally supposed to protect the health of the world, and you failed. Why are we giving you money? So they haven't thought it through, or if they do, they don't care.
Yeah, I think that should be your next article title. They haven't thought it through. It seems like everybody hasn't thought it through. The governors haven't thought this thing through. Dr. Fauci for sure hasn't thought this thing through. Our economy, talk about how many things have gone wrong in this World Health Organization. You know, they, as you said, they didn't think it through.
They didn't. So we are definitely in an unprecedented, and I despise that word when it's used, but we really are in an unprecedented time. There's never been a time in history where we've just shut everything down and expected everything to grind to a halt. And, we see things like people or governors deciding to put moratoriums on rent payments and not requiring people to pay for their mortgages or pay for their rent. But then there's this assumption that it's corporations who own everything. I have plenty of family and friends who are not necessarily real estate investors, but they may own a house or two and rent it out, and they rely on that income to provide for their family. Well, now they're not receiving that fund. So not only are the people who were paying them to rent their house, they are now having to cover the costs of multiple families. And so it's really this domino effect that we haven't seen the thought of. And there seems to be this thought process that if the government just doles out these stimulus checks, that suddenly everything is going to be okay. But they forget that we are the ones who pay into the pot that they're pulling from. And so it has definitely had a detrimental impact. And there have been things that they hadn't thought of at all.
Well, I never really agree with Mr. Tedros, who is the chairman of the WHO, but he did say that we are paying a heavy price, and we are paying a heavy price. He meant that if we reject his advice, we pay a heavy price, but I think we've already paid that heavy price. We are coming to you from the Conservative Commandos Radio Network studios and around the world on the internet with TalkStream Live, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Net Talk America, and AM/FM 24/7. We've been talking with our guest, Elizabeth Baumann, about 2 articles that she wrote. China puts the WHO on a pedestal and takes shots at the U.S., and the other, Democrats are using coronavirus body bags to fundraise. I'm Sharron Angle. I'm here with my co-host, Rick Trader, and we'll be right back after these messages with our guest.
Mom, thank God you're going to be okay.
So relieved. But you both should know when my time comes, I have a final expense policy with Senior Care USA.
Is Senior Care USA the life insurance policy that helps loved ones pay for funeral expenses and other debts? Bill and I called to get more information.
Yes, and there's an immediate payout of up to $50,000.
If you're over 50, call Senior Care USA now to learn more about final expense insurance plans.
There's no medical exam, even if you have a pre-existing condition like I do. When I called, the quote was free, and there was no pressure.
I found out that policies start for as little as 35 cents a day. Rates will never increase and coverage won't decrease.
I'm going to call today.
Ask about the free prescription discount card. Oh, I'm so glad you'll be taken care of.
Call 1-800-822-7419. That's 1-800-822-7419.
But is it? It's really just the beginning, right? Have you written a book and want it published but don't know where to start? You're not alone. Page publishing cuts through the confusion that most new authors face, like copyright protection, barcodes, printing, and digital uploading. We will get your book into bookstores now. We guide you through the publishing maze and help you distribute and sell your work in hard copy and ebook formats. That's right. We will digitize and place your book for sale on Amazon, Apple iBooks, and Google, offering it to millions. Don't waste another minute. Most publishers won't even look at new author submissions, but we're different. We review your book and provide you feedback in about a week. If we decide to publish your book, your work ends and ours begins. From copy editing and proofing to typesetting and book cover art, our team gets you into bookstores fast.
Call 1-877-461-5033.
Does your current bathroom need to be updated immediately? Introducing one-day bath and shower remodeling. The complete and hassle-free way to get the new bathroom of your dreams in as little as 1 day. and for as little as $199 a month. Yes, the experts at One Day Bath and Shower Remodeling will come to you anywhere in the country and show you all the customized options. Now you can have a brand new bathroom in as little as 1 day. Large or small bathrooms, if you want a new bathtub or shower installed, we can do it in as little as 1 day. And if you call right now, you can save $750 off your remodel. We make it easy by offering you financing as low as $199 per month. So for as little as $199 a month, you can finally have the bathroom of your dreams. Call now to schedule your free in-home consultation.
Elizabeth Baumann.
Okay, I'll bring it back in about 10 seconds.
Okay.
And once again, we want to welcome you back. This is the Conservative Commandos radio show. My co-host today is Sharron Angle. I'm Rick Trader, and for rebroadcast of our shows, check out our website, CCRshow.com. That's CCRshow.com. You'll find our radio show there, our TV show there, as well as a lot of other articles and terrific information. Beth Baumann is our guest with us. She's associate editor at townhall.com. She's written a couple of great articles, as everyone at Town Hall does. One, China puts WHO on a pedestal and takes shots at the U.S. Beth, thank you for holding through that break. We appreciate your time. Got to ask you, in your article, you write, it's not surprising that China is praising Tedros. After all, the Chinese Communist Party and WHO have an incestuous relationship. Why'd you write that and talk about this relationship?
I think incestuous is the perfect word to describe it. I mean, we have the World Health Organization continually going to bat for China. At one point, Dr. Tedros wanted to praise China for their so-called original response to the coronavirus, which is mind-boggling in itself. And then, now that the WHO is coming under fire, especially from the United States, for failing to alert the world. They failed to listen to Taiwan, who tried blowing the whistle on this back in December. Now we have China coming to bat for them. So it's really this partnership that they have with one another. And they, we should just call the WHO an extension of the Chinese Communist Party, because they are acting in China's interest and not the world's interest.
Well, you also write in here, Tedros and the organization repeated the regime's talking points, the biggest one being that the virus does not spread through human-to-human contact, and now we're being told that's how it is spread. You also write, the WHO has repeatedly provided cover for China. Why?
I asked myself that, and I think time will tell. We're learning more and more every day, and it's because of whistleblowers who are inside of China, and those people really deserve to be applauded, whether it be independent journalists or doctors. We don't know exactly what their ploy is right now, but we do know that China has a history of wanting to protect their image, like we all think they're so stellar. That's their goal in all of this, is to protect their image, and all they've done is been terrible stewards. If they really wanted to protect their image, they would have come out from the get-go and said, this happened and we don't want to see anybody else get sick. They have that obligation to the rest of the world and to other countries, and they failed to do that. And they need to be held accountable for that. This isn't the first time they've done it, and it sadly probably won't be the last.
What is there anything more that you can tell us about the World Health Organization's Director General, Dr. Tedros, and I can't pronounce the rest of his name.
I don't even try to attempt that.
But from what I understand, you talk about this incestuous relationship with the Chinese. He's had these kinds of relationships with different terrorist groups in Africa. Anything you can tell us about that?
I don't know Tedros's deep ties with anybody else. I'm not a foreign policy expert by any stretch of the imagination, but at least when it comes to the coronavirus and what we're seeing now, he has 100% been on China's side and not the world side, which, it really is sad. And I think time will tell what he's getting out of this. Whether it's monetary or something promised down the line. I hope he can live with himself with whatever he's rewarded for.
Well, I always say follow the money trail, and down that road you'll find the answer.
Absolutely.
Beth, you're also right. Trump has threatened to pull taxpayer funds from the WHO. If it was another president that said this, I might say that's a bunch of lip service. But with Donald Trump, I think he's serious. What's your take on that? Or if you were to make a bet, if you were to call Las Vegas and put a bet on that, would you bet he will or will not pull funds from the World Health Organization?
I would bet my money on he would. My inclination is that he would have done this and not made the halt temporary. He would have done it sooner, but I think his advisors probably told him, for public image sake, let's give them time to turn this around. Let's give them the ultimatum so they can't come back and say, you did this on a whim. So from that perspective, I think that's why he decided to give them 30 days to get their act together, which they're calling his bluff.
Yeah, well, I think I hope and I believe he will stand up to his word. That's Donald Trump. Wanted to talk with you about your other article that you and Sharron referred to. Democrats are using coronavirus body bags to fundraise. Beth, tell us about this group, Make My Day PAC and Party Majority PAC. Tell us about these organizations.
So they're obviously Democrat-funded PAC, political action committees. What I thought was the most interesting is they're using these body bags to get people to donate to buy their literal body bags to go out to Florida and to hand them out to beachgoers to basically say, you're not on quarantine, you're not on lockdown, you're going to die. They're using it to fundraise for various campaigns, one of which was for California's 25th congressional district, which is done and over with, and Christy Smith lost. So Katie Hill's seat is now filled with Mike Garcia. So that's their focus. I haven't dug into her FEC filings, but I'm making the assumption that if they're still fundraising for that, she has quite a bit of debt.
That could be. Well, it's interesting that they targeted Florida for these body bags. The fact that the beaches are open. Beth, I'm not a doctor. I don't even play one on television, but I do know something about flus and viruses. They hate heat and humidity. They hate fresh air. They hate sunshine. And they hate water. Okay, so I don't think that too many people are going to get or pass this coronavirus to each other on the beaches of Florida. Since Florida has opened up, has there been any spike that you know of?
Not that I know of. Actually, Los Angeles is becoming the new hotbed. And, why we've seen people in Orange County and Newport Beach and San Diego going to the beaches. Why aren't they going targeting those areas? Is it because the governor is a Democrat? I mean, that's the only thing that's different about these places. Is one is a Republican governor who decided to open things up, and the other is a Democrat who decided, I think they just announced a little bit ago before I joined you guys, that they're about to start phase 3 and allow salons and stuff to open. So that's the only difference between them. I mean, yes, they're on opposite sides of the country, but other than that.
All right. Well, I also heard a report in California that the beaches would be open. You can stand on the beach, but you can't lie down and sit on the beach. I don't expect how they expect people to just go to the beach and stand there all day. Can't go in the water, can't lay down, can't sit down, but you can go to the beach and stand there all day. Beth Baumann, we want to thank you so much for joining us on Conservative Commandos. Beth, please tell our audience how they could follow your work and read your articles.
You can follow me on townhall.com under the tip sheet section, on Twitter at EB454, and on Facebook, Beth Baumann, Baumann.
Beth, I hope this is the first time of many that you
of course,
come back to Conservative Commandos. And that's what you're listening to and watching, the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharron Engel and yours truly, Rick Trader. On the other side, we're going to be speaking with Charlotte Hayes. She's the Director of Cultural Programs at the Independent Women's Forum. And she's written an article we're going to be discussing with her. Gavin Newsom threatens to lay off cops and firefighters if Washington doesn't bail out his big spending state. Another threat coming from Gavin Newsom right after this break.
Attention homeowners. Do you have a house that's in need of serious repairs? Do you have tenants that never seem to make their monthly payments? How about code violations, past due taxes, or maintenance costs you just can't afford? Then call my friends right now at Quick Cash Offer. They specialize in buying any home, no matter how ugly the situation. Turn that problem property into cash right now. It's just that simple. One call and you can get rid of that home headache forever. They buy the ugliest houses with instant closings, instant cash, and huge savings. Plus, there are no realtor fees, no listing fees, and no repair costs. Just cash in your hands for that painful property. They're buying a few more houses in your neighborhood this month. So take advantage of this cash offer and call Quick Cash Offer now.
855-296-8854. 855-296-8854. That's 855-296-8854.
Listen carefully. If your student loan debt is overwhelming you and things seem hopeless, we've got great news.
If you're still struggling with your student loan debt, there are government programs available that may actually lower your payments by consolidating your federal student loans. Just call us. We'll review your situation and work with you to consolidate your debt. In many cases, depending on your situation, we can lower your monthly payments in half or more. It doesn't matter how much you owe or how far behind you are. Even if you're in default, call us right now to find out how we can lower your payment in half immediately. You can stop the harassing phone calls and the wage garnishments. All you need to do is pick up the phone and call us right now. We can remove your default status, consolidate your federal student loans, lower your payments, and we can do it today. Stop worrying. This is a real solution that can help. So please call us right now.
Call 800-917-8671.
Are you over the age of 50? Want peace of mind and financial security for your family? Here's an important message to you and all seniors from the Final Expense Insurance Hotline. The average funeral costs about $7,000, even more. And the most government benefits will pay your family is only $255. That leaves your loved ones with a burden of paying your debts and funeral costs. Our plans start as low as $1 per day and will pay up to $30,000 for your funeral and other final expenses. There's no medical exam and you'll have lifetime coverage. Plus, your rates will never increase and your plan cannot be canceled regardless of your medical condition, as long as you make your premium payments. Get free information right now. Just answer a few simple questions and get approved right over the phone in just a few minutes. Call right now.
Call 855-221-7334.
Do you have an idea for an invention, but you don't know what to do next?
How do you get in front of companies or get a patent?
Call InventHelp. They've been helping inventors just like you for 35 years.
And thousands of people contact them every month.
With 65 offices, you can meet with an InventHelp representative near you who will keep your idea confidential and explain their invention process step by step. InventHelp has helped over 10,000 inventors get patents. And they offer 3D animations and prototyping services to help demonstrate your idea. InventHelp's exclusive databank includes over 9,000 companies who have agreed to confidentially review new ideas, like yours.
Don't wonder what to do next. Take action right now and get the help you need from InventHelp.
InventHelp. Call today for free information.
800-880-2937. That's 800-880-2937 now.
And welcome back. This is the Conservative Commandos radio show. My co-host today is Sharron Angle. And for rebroadcast, you can check out our website, ccrshow.com. That's ccrshow.com. Be sure to like us, friend us, and follow us on Facebook and on Twitter. And with that, Sharron, our next guest is with us. She's a longtime friend of the show, and the honor of the introduction is all yours.
It is an honor for me to introduce Charlotte Hayes, who's the Director of Cultural Programs at the Independent Women's Forum. Charlotte has appeared on programs such as Politically Incorrect, C-SPAN's Washington Journal, and PBS's To the Contrary. A former correspondent for the National Catholic Register and a feature writer at the Washington Times, her work has appeared in the Wall Street Journal, New York Magazine, the Washington Post, and the Weekly Standard. Charlotte, welcome back to the Conservative Commandos radio show.
Well, Sharron, it is an honor to appear with you and Rick today, or not to appear, but to speak with y'all. I can't appear because I've been inside so long, I don't have my roots done.
No salon hair. You know, I feel your pain. My daughter, I conscripted her. I went to her house and I said, we got to go to Walmart. And you've got to cut and do some magic here. So I know how that goes. You know, it's interesting how this coronavirus has become the excuse for everything, right?
Yes, we're never going to open up the country, and we're never going to have carbon emissions again.
Right. There you go. Something good coming out of it all.
But you've written an article, Gavin Newsom threatens to lay off cops and firefighters if Washington doesn't bail out his big spending state.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to let you go. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say he's trying the cops and firefighters gambit. It's sort of a ruse. You know, Newsom is saying that Washington, i.e. you and Rick and me, the American taxpayers, have to bail out his state, which is in an incredibly deep financial pit. But he's doing that trick. I'll fire the firefighters. I'll fire the cops if you don't bail me out. But the problem for Newsom is it's not paying the cops and firefighters that's gotten him in trouble. You know, and I will just say that let's talk about some of the things that he is paying. At the same time he's saying, I'll have to fire the cops and firefighters, California established a program, a relief program for illegal immigrants. The New York Times called it a landmark new state relief program that will provide taxpayer assistance to undocumented immigrants who have been shut out of other federal relief programs. Well, now look, I can sympathize with the plight of somebody who's come here and is in a tight spot. I can't say it's right, but I can sympathize. But that's the thing for private charity. I think there are a lot of taxpayers like me who would not want to contribute to this particular program. And I mean, let's face it, providing taxpayer assistance to illegal immigrants is a statement, and a lot of Americans won't feel comfortable making that statement. They would prefer tax money to be used differently. And the other thing that's interesting is the governor's trying to say, this is a financial problem that's caused by the coronavirus. But it's not. If you want to see what California's finances are like. There was a terrific article by Steve Malanga in City Journal, and basically Steve says that before the coronavirus, California was looking at a $54 billion shortfall. That's a B and not an M, and it's not a result of the virus. It's a result of the way California spends its money. It's also a result of the way California gets its money. It's the highest taxes in the country of any state, and a lot of it they heavily tax capital gains and other income, and basically when it's the high-income people who pay the taxes. But the thing about high-income people is your tax rate is volatile. Now, the market went up fabulously today, but, it was going down for a while. So basically, you can't count on it. But when they are flush, a volatile tax base means that the state of California is likely to obligate itself to overspend in fat years. Got to pay it in lean years too. For example, they've just been spending lavishly on homelessness. They just devoted from the last budget about $3 billion. Well, guess what? San Francisco and other towns were already spending a heck of a lot of money on homelessness. Homelessness is increasing, and some of the reason that it's increasing is the government is making it more attractive. They have decriminalized theft of property below a certain level. So in other words, you can steal and not get in trouble. That contributes to homelessness. Also, distribution of free syringes contributes to homelessness. It's a bad situation, but there are signs that Republicans do not want to bail them out. And if it doesn't bail them out, they might have to open up the state sooner. Actually, that was the conclusion of Malanga's article. I don't think they want to open it up any sooner than I think they'll hold out for not opening it up. But they're in bad trouble, and it's not the virus' fault. And I'm hoping that you and I and Rick won't have to bail them out.
Well, I know that there is a connection, a relationship between Pelosi and Newsom. They have some family ties there. And I wonder how that's going to play out in the House of Representatives. It sounds like, he just goes to her and says, Aunt Nancy, I need this.
Well, I'm sure that's true. I mean, Aunt Nancy's already asked for $3 trillion in a law that just has all sorts of things like rewriting our election law. I think it has mail-in ballots for everybody. So yeah, he'll go to her, and I guess we have better hope that Uncle Mitch puts the kibosh on it.
Well, I hope so, because as you say, they had troubles before this coronavirus.
Their financial woes have almost nothing to do with the coronavirus. If the coronavirus had never happened, they would still have financial woes. They're going to have a lot more, yes, and they're going to have a lot more because they're trying not to open as soon as they can. I mean, listen, we don't know that a shutdown is preventing new cases. We just don't know. We don't have that information. We're shut down too long.
Well, and it seems like other countries who haven't shut down at all, Sweden, they haven't suffered any differently than we have. In fact, not as much. We don't know quite yet. I think Sweden probably did the right thing. They're making, getting herd immunity. I think they probably did. But one thing we know is that they did not destroy their economy. And guess what? When you destroy your country or your economy, you've got big problems in addition to the coronavirus. But did you see the story in Politico this morning? The Democrats are worried, very worried, that we're going to have an economy that just really takes off the minute things open up. They're worried about that.
They're worried about that. Wouldn't that be horrible to have a great economy?
Yeah. Well, I guess it's easier to put people in tyranny if they're poor. I don't know what their logic is here.
It'll be easier to beat Trump if he has a lousy economy, and so they're really worried that it might get better too fast. Let's hope it does.
Right. Well, you write in your article, California's problem The income of the rich is highly variable, based heavily on dividends, capital gains, and bonuses, which mostly vanish in recession. So how does not having a booming economy help Gavin Newsom?
Well, you put your finger on something. Not having a booming economy really hurts Gavin Newsom, and that's why he's so intent on the country bailing him out. And I guess if Biden is elected, the country will bail him out. But how do we're going to run out of money pretty soon. We're going to just print it until the cows come home. It's going to be a terrible situation.
Well, and as you write in your article again, California added new taxes, bumping up the rate for those earning more than $250,000 a year and increasing the state sales tax. So they're not printing money, but they're using our money, actually, aren't they? I mean,
absolutely. Actually, that's in Steve Malanga's article, and it just basically the thing that California's done is it's raised its taxes, so you just can't raise them again. I mean, I'm sure they'll end up doing that, but the United States should not bail California out. We can't afford it, and we certainly shouldn't bail them out when their tax base is a mess and they're contributing money, taxpayer money, to illegal immigrant programs.
Absolutely.
As I said, I hope people will do charitable things for people who are illegal and who are starving and who are having a hard time. But taxpayer money is a different thing.
That's right. We are talking to Charlotte Hayes, who's the Director of Cultural Programs at the Independent Women's Forum, about an article that she wrote. Gavin Newsom threatens to lay off cops and firefighters if Washington doesn't bail out his big spending state. We are coming to you from the Conservative Commandos Radio Network studios and around the world on the internet with TalkStream Live, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Net Talk America, and AM FM 24/7. We can also be seen on the AUN TV network in Northern California. And I'm Sharron Angle. My co-host is Rick Trader. We're here with our guest, Charlotte Hayes, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Are you a veteran and are you a homeowner? Then think Streamline and maybe save yourself a few $100s every month on your mortgage. A VA Streamline refinance. It's called a rate reduction loan because mortgage interest reduction is exactly what it does. It's just for veterans and it lowers your mortgage rate so you can save on mortgage payments every month, every year. That's a lot of money saved. And it's so easy to qualify. You don't need pay stubs, a W-2, or bank statements. You don't need a home appraisal. It's fast and easy to apply. And mortgage interest rates are very low right now. So a VA Streamline refinance makes it super easy and super affordable to take advantage of this opportunity and really cut your monthly mortgage payments. Veteran and homeowner? Call us to find out more. 888-893-7491. 888-893-7491.
Do you have an idea for an invention, but you don't know what to do next?
How do you get in front of companies or get a patent?
Call InventHelp. They've been helping inventors just like you for 35 years.
And thousands of people contact them every month.
With 65 offices, you can meet with an InventHelp representative near you who will keep your idea confidential and explain their invention process step by step. InventHelp has helped over 10,000 inventors get patents. And they offer 3D animations and prototyping services to help demonstrate your idea. InventHelp's exclusive databank includes over 9,000 companies who have agreed to confidentially review new ideas, like yours.
Don't wonder what to do next. Take action right now and get the help you need from InventHelp.
InventHelp. Call today for free information.
800-880-2937. That's 800-880-2937 now.
Is your credit card debt driving you batty?
We're going up! Just like your credit card fees and interest rates. To the top! With those sky-high payments! You can't forget about your debt. Always fear, the debt suckers are here!
Are your payments sucking the life out of you? Just one call to Consolidated Credit can get the debt suckers off your back. Consolidated Credit will lower your interest rates, consolidate your bills into one easy payment, and get you out of debt fast. Call Consolidated Credit and get your life back.
Call 1-800-201-8213. 1-800-201-8213. That's 1-800-201-8213. 1-800-201-8213.
When debt is the problem, Consolidated Credit is the solution.
Because debt sucks!
Attention Viagra and Cialis users. Are prescription drugstore prices too costly? Get 50 generic pills for only $99. That's right, 50 100 milligram generic Viagra for only $99. Our products have the same active ingredients as the brand name products. Money back guaranteed if you're 100% not satisfied. Get 50 generic pills for only $99. Order now and call the number on your screen. Have your credit card ready.
And welcome back. Welcome back to the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharron Angle and yours truly, Rick Trader. And want to give a shout out to folks who listen to us on radio stations in Jacksonville, Tampa, and the Villages, Florida, Las Vegas and Reno, Macon, Georgia, Lancaster and Pittsburgh, Boulder and Colorado Springs, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Long Beach, California, Arlington, Virginia, Washington, D.C., and also seen on the AUN television network in San Francisco, Sacramento, San Jose, Santa Rosa, Silicon Valley, wine country, all the way up to Redding. Our guest is a longtime friend of the show, Charlotte Hayes. She's the Director of Cultural Programs at the Independent Women's Forum. And we're discussing, Gavin Newsom threatens to lay off cops and firefighters if Washington, i.e. you and I, doesn't bail out his big spending state. Charlotte, thank you for holding through that break. We appreciate your time.
Well, I'm delighted to be back. I'm glad you'll have me back, Rick.
Charlotte, I've said many, many, many times, and I mean it sincerely, you are one of my favorite guests. You know that.
Well, you know I love this show also, so we're a mutual admiration society.
There you go. There you go. Well, Gavin Newsom may have said this, but it's probably on the tip of the tongue of people like Cuomo and Phil Murphy in New Jersey and a lot of other governors, a lot of other mayors of big cities out there, Charlotte Hayes. I don't think Gavin is going to be the lone voice. Do you?
No, and we should point out that it's the states. Well, I don't know why we have to point this out, but it's the big spending states, the states who have spent irresponsibly, the states that have got budgets that are unsustainable and were unsustainable before the coronavirus, who will be in trouble. I don't think Florida's going to be asking for any money, for example.
Well, probably Miami will. You know,
Miami might. You're right.
I want to add cities into this. For instance, Pennsylvania, now Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, their mayor has been crying, oh, we need federal money. We need federal money. We can't do this alone. De Blasio in New York, mayor of New York, we need federal money. We need federal money. I'm sure, Charlotte, that every mayor of all the big cities in the country are going to be crying for federal money. And
well,
it's not just going to be for the firefighters and the first responders. It's for the children. It's for the teachers. You know, they always pull these emotional issues into it. I could write their playbook right here, Charlotte.
I'd forgotten about children and teachers. They come after firefighters and cops. But we just have to remember that they didn't get in trouble financially by paying their firefighters and cops. They got in trouble financially by overspending, by spending more than they take in. And you know, if we use this coronavirus right. And I don't think there's a silver lining. It's been awful. But if we can use it right to make these states get their houses in order or closer to order. And I would love to see that happen. And the way to see it happen is not to bail them out.
Well, Charlotte, you and Sharron were talking about all the tax increases California went through. I think this is just the beginning of massive tax increases coming from just about every state, coming from every mayor, every local politician, every single stinking one of them is going to use this as a cry that they have to raise taxes because their coffers are drained because of the virus.
Well, this is where you've got to have people who say, we won't do it. And actually, how do you do it? I mean, how do we get Aunt Nancy's to $3 trillion? Well, we have to print it up. We have to borrow it. We can survive this coronavirus thing. We can come out of it as we open up. But we can't come out of it if we exceed to these demands for cash.
Well, we may come out of it, but we'll never come out of it looking the way we were before. I mean, Charlotte Hayes, this is a depression. I'm using the D word here, depression. We have not seen unemployment numbers like this since 1929, Charlotte Hayes. And it took 16 years and a world war to get us out of that depression.
Well, it's scary, but I'm just, we don't know what's going to happen, obviously. And that's the other thing I just want to say, Rick. When you read about the coronavirus, you always read about sort of, what are the novels to read while you're quarantined? What are the Netflix shows to read? The media never covers the people who are losing their jobs and want to go back to work.
Yeah. Well, Charlotte, I have a solution for California. I really do, and this is a legitimate solution. Okay.
Okay.
What's their debt? $50 billion.
$54 billion. Shortfall.
All they need to do is open their offshore to drilling for gas and oil. And Charlotte, that is a.
They'd have the money. They would have the money.
They'd have the money.
But you're not. I mean, when you advocate things like that, Rick, you're obviously not thinking about the snail darter.
Well, I don't care about the damn little snail darter. I mean, I'll put that little sucker in my fish tank and I'll feed him and take care of him. But we need states like California to take care of its own problems, and they have the resources. And it's not Delaware. Okay, California is not Delaware. They got massive gas and oil reserves off their coast.
They have regulated themselves into this financial problem. You're right. If they had fewer environmental restrictions, well, look, California was the big fighter against the Pipeline XL, and it was led by trust fund kids who don't care one way or the other about pipelines making jobs. So yeah, it's self-inflicted.
Well, I think that one thing has been proven about this virus, Charlotte and Sharron.
Yes.
The real killer here is confinement, being locked in one's house. And I'll use the homeless as an example. There were predictions that the homeless population would be wiped out by this. They're not sick. There's a benefit for being in the great outdoors. All right?
Are you kidding? I did not know that. I did not know that there had been fewer homeless deaths. Well, the other thing is,
you haven't heard about it, Charlotte. You haven't heard about all the homeless being sick. So what I say, in the Civil War, they found out something very important, and that was the soldiers that were housed in tent hospitals did much better than the soldiers that were housed in brick and mortar and frame buildings. Why? Fresh air and sunshine. During the Spanish flu of 1918, when the hospitals were overrun with patients, they set them up in 10 hospitals. And once again, the patients that were housed outside had better outcomes than the patients that were in brick and mortar and frame structures. And we haven't heard about all the sick and dying of the homeless population. Charlotte, because fresh air and sunshine are natural enemies to this thing.
Well, I'll tell you another interesting thing is I saw a New York Times headline either today or yesterday that said that this man had escaped the horrors of World War II only to die in coronavirus. And it's like, okay, if he escaped the horrors of World War II, he may be 86, and it may not be the coronavirus.
Yeah, how about 96, Charlotte Hayes?
Yeah, I escaped the horrors of war, but guess what? I died anyway 40 years later.
Yeah. Charlotte Hayes, I love you, Charlotte. Love having
Love
you on
y'all.
the show. Charlotte Hayes, Independent Women's Forum. Please tell our audience where they could read your articles, find out what you're up to, and also the wonderful work of the Independent Women's Forum.
IWF.org. Please visit us.
Love the ladies of the Independent Women's Forum. Sharron, don't I say that all the time?
Yes, you do.
I love the ladies like Charlotte Hayes.
Well, we love y'all too.
Charlotte Hayes, thank you so much for joining us. Take care and God bless.
Bye-bye.
And this is the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharron Engel and yours truly, Rick Trader. Sharron and I will be back with more right after this break.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 888-431-0562. That's 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562.
Dish TV is better than cable TV. Here's why. Dish has the nation's lowest TV price, along with an award-winning DVR that can skip commercials, record 8 shows at once, and get access to thousands of movies at your fingertips. Cable simply can't even compare. So the smart choice is to cut the cable and get Dish. Plus, you get all these great TV features, free HD DVR upgrade, free installation, and free movie channels. Say goodbye to cable and get more with Dish TV. 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. As an added bonus, you can switch to Dish now and receive a $50 Visa gift card. So call now and get Dish TV. Call 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. That's 877-290-7764. Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification required. Cancellation fee, monthly equipment fees, and other restrictions apply. Promotion can change at any time.
Friend, do you remember when it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank to expand a business, go on vacation, or buy a new car? Well, today, withdrawing your own cash has become a very risky business, according to The Secret War, a shocking new research report. I just read it. And folks, I was amazed to learn why banks are now required to spy on us for the government and then report any suspicious or unusual behavior. I suggest you get The Secret War free. Just call the number on the screen, no charge, from the folks at Swiss America, and get this. Did you know simply spending cash today may be enough to have you branded as a potential criminal? That's right. The new war on cash is really a war against all freedom-loving Americans. The Secret War is yours free, so call the number on the screen and you can tell them Pat Boone gave you the number.
Well, Sharron, that wraps it up for today's show. I want to thank you for sitting in as my co-host. And Sharron, when you're not here with Melissa, George, Nasser, myself, how can people keep track of what you're up to?
Very simply, go to SharonEngel.com, SharonEngel layoffs.com. I want to thank our guests, Rick. They are what makes our show great every day. We had a wonderful guest. Art Harman talked about the space program and why it's necessary for the United States to get back into space. We also had Beth Baumann. She's with Town Hall. She's an assistant editor there, and she had some great articles, catchy titles, talking about the World Health Organization and also fundraising using body bags, if you can believe that.
Fundraising for Democrat candidates.
Absolutely.
Using body bags.
The coronavirus is a thing, huh?
Yes.
And our final guest from the Independent Women's Forum, Charlotte Hayes, talking about paying for Gavin Newsom's debt. He won't open up his state so that they can make money over there. He expects us to just come along and pick up the tab.
All right. 3 terrific guests. Sharron, again, it was terrific doing the show with you. But for right now, we're out of time. We got to run and we got to go. Take care. God bless. And we'll see you tomorrow on TV and on radio.